The Awp is a weapon that is perfect for taking a man down to gain a numeral advantage. The Awp is generally used in long-range situations, but once you become better, medium and close range is not a problem. A quick overview of everything will be overlaid on this guide. The Awp is heavy, powerful, and expensive. It's the only weapon that can kill someone with one body shot. However, it isn't a one-hit kill in all circumstances, as leg and lower growing shots deal 85 damage, aka legging, as do shots that clip through surfaces such as railings or corners. The first thing I'm going to talk about is accuracy. As an Awper, accuracy is extremely important. Losing a shot is the last thing you want. You need to practice your aim every day and keep your reflexes sharp. You need to be able to quickly spot enemies and take them out. Half of a second could be the difference between death and a kill. In order to be more accurate, it's best to play with a lower mouse sensitivity, as this will help you keep your enemies in your crosshair at all times. My sensitivity is basically at its lowest. It's always different depending on the mouse you have, so try setting a lower sensitivity for a few rounds and see if you can hit your shots easier. All sniper rifles are extremely accurate while standing still. Your first shot will always be accurate when standing still. Keep in mind that consecutive shots with the Awp will not be as accurate as the first one. However, a scout can be fired indefinitely with minimum loss of accuracy. So basically, you could fire a scout as fast as you can while still being able to hit your targets. The scout is the most accurate sniper rifle. You can still be accurate in the beginning and the end of your jump. In other words, you can accurately shoot with a scout while moving and or jumping. Shooting a bullet while jumping is called a jump shot, and is done pretty commonly with the scout. The Awp is extremely inaccurate while you're not scoped in. Always try zooming in before firing a shot with the Awp. I'll explain some situations later in this tutorial of when you should scope in or no scope when firing at your target. Alright guys, so let's talk about re-peeking an angle and winning the gunfight. When you missed your first shot and want to go for the second, keep in mind that an Awper or rifler will most likely be holding the angle to try to get a kill. Well guys, how can you use this to your advantage? There are a few options. The first option is to shoulder peek, baiting a shot and going for the kill. The second option is to just sidestep while pre-aiming and pre-firing. And the last option is to throw a flash and it'll give no time for the enemy to look away or fall back from his position. The next thing we are going to talk about is changing your positions every few rounds. You don't want to hold the same angle every round because your enemies will most likely pre-fire or pre-aim the same angle you held last round. You can even slightly throw your enemies off by taking a few steps away from the same angle you held last round. I do this pretty often as it'll throw your enemies off by them believing the angle is clear. Now we will talk about situations of when you should scope in or no scope when firing at your target. If the target is basically in your face, no scope him. The reason why you would not want to scope your weapon in a situation like this is because by the time you scope in, the enemy has a better chance to take multiple shots to take you out. Most of the situations you will be in will be a situation where you'll be able to scope in to take your enemy out. Don't try to no scope an enemy 20 feet away, as you will most likely fail. Let's talk a little bit about flick shooting. Many times you might need to readjust your crosshair if your reaction wasn't fast enough. You basically need to reposition your crosshair by quickly flicking to your target in order to make your shot count. Now this isn't all about luck. You do improve on flicking to your enemies. A great way to practice flicking is to play the practice Awp map. I will link it in the description. Practice this map by positioning your crosshair slightly away from the target and tagging the target with a controlled flick. When you get better at it, step it up by tagging moving targets. You might have noticed by now that I have been crouching every time I take a peek at an enemy. This is a great strategy to get good at because when the enemy peeks, he peeks with his crosshair pre-aimed around head level. He then has to reposition his crosshair a little lower in order to take a shot at you. At the same time, he exposes himself, which gives you the advantage to take the first shot. Get used to crouch peeking and staying crouched when pre-peeking angles. The advantage is yours. Practice this in an offline server by placing a couple of bots beside each other. Then expose yourself while crouch peeking and taking a shot. Repeat this until you get good at hitting your target every time. Alright, to improve on all the things I talked about, you must practice. And the best way to practice is to play community deathmatch servers or community Awp maps. Deathmatch servers will help you improve your aggressive control and quick reactions with the Awp, since you'll be in situations where enemies can appear out of nowhere, and you'll have to react quickly by flicking to your enemy. Now you won't be the best at targeting the enemy, but you will slowly improve and hit all your crazy shots. The community Awp maps are a great way to start off by pre-scoping and taking the shot once the enemy falls into your crosshair. Once you're basically hitting every shot, play a little more aggressive by jumping around, peeking the enemy, and trying to flick to them. Mastering the aggressiveness with the flicking will make you a harder target to hit, and will also give your team an advantage. For example, this clip of falling at the MLG finals is a great example of why being a good aggressive Awper will give your team an advantage. Fallen was able to take 2 enemies out and fall back, which makes the round a 5v3. He was able to fall back without being traded. Just a perfect advantage for his team. I hope you can learn something from my guide. Thank you for watching and leave me some feedback if this guide was helpful for you.